You think this episode is about the Battle of the Gullet, or a prince who went to war and never came back. It isn't. It's about a truth Westeros has never been able to escape. A woman may be a queen, but that doesn't mean anyone intends to respect her. In this video, we'll talk about how the secret deal between Rhaenyra and Alicent collapsed in a single day, why Jace locked his own mother inside her room, why Aemond kissed his mother, and what that kiss was really saying, and how two of the most powerful women in Westeros were both defeated, not by their enemies, but by their own sons. At the end of Season 2, something extraordinary happened. While the rest of Westeros prepared for war, two women tried to stop it. Alicent crossed Blackwater Bay alone and walked into Dragonstone. There she offered Rhaenyra a deal. In 3 days, the gates of King's Landing would be opened. Rhaenyra would take the Iron Throne without bloodshed. In return, Alicent and her daughters would be allowed to leave, but there was one condition: Aegon. As long as he lived, he would remain a threat to Rhaenyra's throne. Alicent accepted it. For the first time since Viserys died, it seemed possible that the Dance of the Dragons might end not with victory, but with mercy. Alicent returned to King's Landing, believing the worst was over. She had made her deal. The war would end. Her children would live. The throne room told her otherwise. Aegon had fled the city with Larys strong, and sitting on the Iron Throne was Aemond. And from the moment Alicent entered that room, one thing became clear: she would fail to save her children, not because Rhaenyra had rejected her offer, but because events were already moving beyond her control. Aemond and Vhagar remained in the city. 15,000 Hightower soldiers were marching toward King's Landing. The Triarchy had attacked the Valyrian fleet. The war she had tried to stop was already in motion. The deal between her and Rhaenyra was dead, because the woman who made it never possessed the authority to enforce it. And staring at Aemond's arrogant face, Alicent understood something she had always known but never fully felt. She could try to influence kings, but in Westeros, kings never truly respected women. Now the city would face bloodshed. Her family would face dragonfire, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. But Alicent was not ready to give up. She wrote to the Hightower army in Aemond's name, ordering them to delay its march. Then she turned to the greater problem: Aemond himself. Since Aegon had been burned, Alicent had spent months trying to tell Aemond what he should do. He never listened. Instead, he removed her from his council, and now he sat the Iron Throne. Alicent knew that if she approached him as a queen mother, she would fail to save him. So she tried something else. She told him what she had never said before. Aegon should never have been king. The crown should have gone to him. He was the son who truly deserved it. Everything Aemond had wanted to hear his entire life. And as she spoke, she moved closer. Her voice softened. Her hand found his face. Alicent was trying to save her son, but Aemond saw something else. He saw a woman trying to influence him, trying to move him where she wanted him to go. And yet, for a moment, he seemed drawn to it. Perhaps because Alicent was speaking to him in a way she never had before. Then Aemond leaned forward and kissed her. Alicent froze. For a moment, she did not know what she was looking at. Was this defiance, a threat, or something far more twisted? She did not know, and that frightened her more than the kiss itself, but she did not pull away. Not while there was still a chance she could persuade him to leave King's Landing and save his life. When the moment passed, Aemond spoke of the Riverlands. For a moment, it sounded as though he intended to go. Then he walked away. But Alicent was not relieved, because she no longer knew what had just happened. For years, Alicent had believed she understood her sons. Now she was no longer sure she understood Aemond at all, because if he ever discovered the agreement she had made with Rhaenyra, what would he do? Tonight, Aemond had shown her exactly how he saw her. Neither a queen, nor a mother. Just a woman trying to influence a king. Across the water, Rhaenyra was losing the same battle. When news arrived that the Triarchy had attacked the Valyrian fleet, she made her decision immediately. She would go herself. Jace disagreed. For months, he had advised her, questioned her, and now, for the first time, he stopped treating her decision as the final one. While Rhaenyra prepared to ride, Jace made plans of his own. He told Sir Laurent to lock the door. Why? Because Jace believed it was a trap. The Greens wanted the Queen's head, and if Rhaenyra flew to the Gullet, she might never come back. So he decided he had to save the Queen from herself. Would anyone have dared lock a king inside his own room? And Sir Laurent? Would he have obeyed such an order? Of course not. But this was not a king. It was a queen. Then Jace left with Baela for the war. But who gave him that right? Rhaenyra was his mother. She was the queen he had sworn to serve. Yet Jace simply did it. Because in Westeros, glory belongs to men, not women. And so Jace looked at a queen who had spent decades riding dragons, and still believed he should be the one flying into danger. And no one understood that better than Rhaenyra. When Rhaenyra went to leave the room, the door would not open. It had been locked from the outside. She pounded on the door, but Sir Laurent did not open it. At first, she could hardly believe what was happening. Then she learned the truth. The order had come from her son. Rhaenyra's disbelief turned to fury. She threatened Sir Laurent, promised death. Still the door remained closed. And perhaps in that moment, she remembered the words Rhaenys Targaryen had spoken years before. Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra had spent her life trying to prove those words wrong. Now her own son had proven them true. Mysaria tried to calm her. Jace was only trying to protect you. But Rhaenyra had never asked to be protected. Rhaenyra snatched her court dress from the handmaid's hands, threw it onto the table, then drew a dagger. The blade came down again and again. When the knife was no longer enough, she used her hands, ripping the fabric apart. Every stroke carried years of frustration. Since childhood, men had been deciding what she could and could not do. Viserys named her heir, but he never prepared her as he would have prepared a son. And now, when she had finally chosen to lead from the front, her own son had locked her inside a room, all in the name of protecting the queen. That was the insult. And then Rhaenyra spoke. "I may appear to have the weak and feeble body of a woman, but I possess the heart and spirit of a king." That was not a complaint. It was a declaration. If they refused to respect a queen, then Rhaenyra would act like a king. Jace flew to the Gullet, determined to prove himself. And for a time, he did well. But courage and experience are not the same thing. When grappling lines brought Varmax down toward the water, Jacaerys found himself in a situation a veteran rider might have anticipated. A sword could cut a rope. Experience could save a life. Jace had courage. What he lacked was experience. That was why Rhaenyra had never wanted him there. She never got the chance to save him. Across the water, Alicent faced the same truth. She had done everything she could to steer Aemond towards safety. Yet whether he rode for Harrenhal or remained in King's Landing was never her decision to make. This is what Westeros does to women. It does not strip away their titles. It simply reserves the final decision for someone else. A son, a king, a prince, anyone but them.